Just high key a word. If your skin tone is black, then you high key deserve compensation. Yeah. Widely dispersed across your turf onto every seed you birth if you concur and say ooh. Yeah. Just high key a word. Since my skin tone is black, then I high key deserve compensation. Yeah. Widely dispersed across my turf onto every seed I birth. Morning sunshine, welcome to reality. I tried to wake you, but you were sleeping so peacefully in your fallacy, quite casually. I got 7 uncolonized names to explain my galaxy. I'm a galaxy, but for short, you can call me your majesty. Some of y'all new blacks act so surprised. The 2020 took all them cataracts off your eyes. Now you got perfect vision, see clearly through the disguise. No need for pantomimes or alibis. The revolution is televised. Just a year of discernment, popping off, we burn it. You gon' pay everything you owe to Lil Riley said, cause I earned it. Perm tips with the new growth, breaking out of that loose hole with the truth glow. Shining like new money, I got the juice hoe, so you gon' have to pick sides or divide up into tribes, not by skin but by your mind. Is you Satan or divine? What's your ideology? Either change your behavior or save your apology. I spit it like I got to get it, I'm gone. I rip it like mommy right off of the bone. Pull up on your mama and grandma alone. Let you know what type of X that I'm on. Mind blown, 5 in the moon. Lost in the rabbit hole, can't come home. Found out that everything you was ever told, everything you thought real was wrong. Found out that everything you was ever told, everything you thought real was wrong. Found out that everything you was ever told, everything you thought real was wrong. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Just high key a word. If your skin tone is black, then you high key deserve conversation. Yeah. Widely dispersed across your turf onto every seed you birth and you concur and say ooh, yeah. Just high key a word. Since my skin tone is black, then I high key deserve compensation. Yeah. Widely dispersed across my turf onto every seed I birth. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, let me stop this before it does anything else. There we go. Peace, peace. This is Siri-lily Shiloh. Before I go any further, let me just say this now. Please subscribe to my page. Okay, I said please. I want you to subscribe. I want you to hit the like button. You can hit the down button. I really don't care. I just want to make sure that you interact. And if you do hit the down button on any of my videos, I am open to you commenting why you don't like my videos. I'm open for constructive criticism. If it is not constructive, you will be blocked, okay? So just so that you know, many people don't hit the like button on my videos, I think because they're afraid. I think that I have a lot more views. I know that I have a lot more views than I have people who respond. If you're not responding on my page, then my stuff's getting censored, all right? So people won't be able to see it. The algorithm won't pick it up. Also, I've learned that they will unlike your stuff on YouTube. I don't know who they is, but the information on your YouTube page, what they do now, drama queen, what they do now is they will take the all notifications bell off. They will, when you hit the like button, they'll go in and unlike it. I just posted comments earlier on someone's page. I had to do it like 3 or 4 times because they continue to remove it. And when that kind of stuff happens, that's how you know that you're on the right track. That's how you know. Anytime information is suppressed, censored, or hidden from you, you need to look deeper into it. So you'll see this video, okay? I strongly suggest that you go to my bio, my description, or whatever this is in YouTube. I haven't changed it yet, but I'm about to. In fact, you know what? I'm just gonna do it now. In the bio, it will have the link. It will have the link for you to vote because they remove all of that stuff. Also, my YouTube
if you go and look up my YouTube, which is SIRI-LILY space SHILO. If you go and look up my YouTube, more than likely you won't be able to find it. And that's exactly how it's spelled. So if you cannot, if you look up my link by word in any of my videos, you can't find it, then I strongly suggest that you contact me, okay? You can message me by my email, by my Instagram. If you don't have an Instagram page, you can make an Instagram page and then you can message me. It's called the DM. I don't have a Facebook page anymore. Well, I've deactivated my Facebook page because, well, people need to wake up. One thing I know is that one thing for certain, two things for sure. You don't miss what you've never had, okay? But I do know this also for certain and for sure. If you've ever had it and you lose it, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it. If it was good to you, good for you, you're gonna miss it. And I speak because it has happened to me. So I ain't talking about nobody else. If the shoe fits, oh well, what the emojis say, oh well. If the shoe fits. Drama queen. I wore this shirt today because we have a lot of drama queens out here. Some of them are men. Y'all gonna be mad. But there are some straight up men. They're not gay at all. It's not a dig on the sexuality of a man, but it's not just men either. It's not, before y'all start this division, it's not just men. We all, as a people, have been affected by this culture that we're in for generations. Honey, they inbred our people in order to continue to enslave us. I'm going to introduce Dr. Barbara Sizemore, as promised. I apologize it took so long, but I do this for free, and I have a life. I mentioned her in my Instagram, if you follow me there, and I told you to look her up, be ready. Someone was like, I can't wait. Yeah, I know you can. I know, I'm the same way. When I found out about Barbara Sizemore, Dr. Sizemore, I was like, and look, she's already an ancestor. You know, at 53, I could have known that woman, you see, but she was suppressed. Same as I'm being suppressed. So if you see this, pass it along, send it in a text message. Don't just tell people about it. Send it to them. Ask them to call you back or to talk to you in a week, in a few days. Actually, don't wait a week. Give them a couple of days, a day or so, 2 at the most, and contact them again and ask them had they had an opportunity to view this video or any of my videos, because it's information that we were never taught. PhDs were never taught, okay? As I said, Sister Elena Porter teaches lawyers, okay? I don't know what else to tell you. There's information you don't have. So I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Barbara Sizemore. Dr. Sizemore, and it's a bit of a long video, so I'm going to have to cut it short. I really wanted to give you this introduction about this woman, and I may go back and do that at a later date. This brother, when he introduces this woman, it shocks you. So, but I've been talking too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with her speaking, and then I'll do the introduction of her later. right? We got this Dr. Barbara. Oh, where is it? How come I can't get this thing to go where I want it to go? All right, I'm gonna put it there. All right. And here it is, guys. Come on, come on. Oh, come on. Give me a sec, I'm sharing the screen. There it is. Okay, sharing the screen. Dr. Barbara Sizemore.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 5 minutes to 10. I was supposed to start at 9:40. I'm a university professor programmed for 50 minutes. I'm going to do my best not to do that. There are certain characteristics of the African-American community which have been consistent throughout my adult years. Last year, I celebrated my 50th year as a teacher in the United States of America. These consistencies are racism, or the belief in white supremacy, has been relentless and persistent throughout these 50 years. The absence of unity among African Americans in their pursuit of freedom and equality has been consistent. And the belief in education and God as the preferred means for that pursuit has steadily diminished. When I was a young girl in the 1930s and 1940s, African Americans, we were called Negroes or colored people then, had strong convictions about the pursuit of freedom and equality, which Reverend Flake has talked about this morning from his parents. My parents, born in the vicious years of Jim Crow, 1905 and 1907, when Negroes were lynched, and Mary McLeod Bethune once thought there was a chance for President Roosevelt to pass an anti-lynching law, but it never happened. But my parents fought against apartheid and Jim Crow because they believed in God and education. They believed in that old song, I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the water, I shall not be moved. And they had faith in God and the future. As you know, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And this faith bolsters self-confidence and lifts self-esteem, but more than anything else, it nourishes the human spirit. And friends, it pays to be intelligent. Nobody wants to be dumb. But it is the human spirit that overcomes obstacles like poverty, like racism, and sexism. There are 5 levers of power in a capitalist democracy: God, dollars, votes, knowledge, and guns. African Americans have all of these. And what keeps us from being successful is the lack of a unity among us to persist and stand like the tree by the water. I call this a degeneration of our spirit, and we must get it back. In 1997, Bernie Watson states in his book, Colored Black Negro Chasing the American Dream, says this: a different reality has set in at this writing. The African American community is now well represented in positions of power and responsibility. Look at us, look at us, look at us. Yet problems remain. Simultaneously, the country appears to be tired of confronting problems, and many political leaders seem eager to return to the good old days of intact families, quiet small towns, good education, jobs for everyone, and perfect harmony.
I apologize for the quality of this video. It's been sitting up on my device for quite some time. It could be that there's something they could have, deleted it. I don't know, but it wasn't this bad when I first pulled it up. I should probably start it over, but I'm scared to. Well, not scared, but I hate to, because they may have, it's no telling. This is suppressed too. I'll try and find it again, but just listen, because it's the words that are most important. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to say before I can finish this. Our brothers are consistently telling us that Black women are the first teachers. Our brothers, our Black men, are consistently chiding us for not being good first teachers. But when a good first teacher does show up, they don't mention her, and she's suppressed. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, just now getting brothers to speak of her, and she is also transitioned. We have plenty of sisters out here who tell us to do more than submit, but to teach.
These good old days never existed. That dimly remembered past is only a fantasy. The opposition, end of quote, the opposition to racism has caved in, as Bernie tells us in his book. Racism through Jim Crow relegated Negroes to poverty then as now, and preventing poverty will require redefinitions and a redistribution of opportunity for all people. These are the future challenges of public education. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a little bit of control over public education. We have absolutely no control over private education. None. The reason we do not understand this is because we do not understand capitalism. We say and teach our children that we fight wars for democracy. Stop telling this lie to your children. We don't fight wars for democracy, we fight wars for capitalism. That is what is the essence of the American dream. The dollars have in God we trust on them, but it's not God we spend. It's not God we save. Your human spirit is not in your bank account. I'm not against dollars, don't get me wrong. But that's not where your heart is. And where your heart is where your treasure is.
She's talking about value systems. Value systems. When money becomes more important than people. Y'all want to talk about the US and these Haitians, but we act just like the US. I said what I said. Black Americans act just like the US. You got 40,000 homeless people in Detroit, and y'all running around here gossiping about, what Nicki Minaj said to some white woman. What does that have to do with helping your people?
You can have money and be poor. Oh yeah, I know people who got plenty of money. It's in a $40,000 Lexus in the garage. It's in $10,000 fur coats, $20,000 diamond rings.
Value system.
But money is important. And if you're gonna make it in the United States, if we're gonna make it as a group in the United States of America, we gotta better understand capitalism and what it means, because that is the essence. I want to thank Bernie Watson and Mona Risco for recommending me to participate in this very important conference, because the future of public education must be responsive to the needs of capitalism now that capitalism is the dominant economic system in the world. You must understand that capitalism means that it's an economic system which guarantees that the goods and services, the ownership and distribution of goods and services is private. It's privately owned. It's privately owned. It's privately owned. It's privately owned. If I own the company, my son does not have to take a test to be vice president. future of public education must be responsive to capitalism. And if we as a people are going to survive, we must be responsive to capitalism, or we will die in the prison system which has been constructed to contain African-American men, especially now that they are armed. Future public education must also be responsive to the changing demographics in the United States. Oh, Reverend Flake is so right. Let your children learn to speak Spanish. For God's sake, let your children learn to speak Spanish.
Please.
You have to talk to Spanish-speaking people. Some of these Spanish-speaking people are Black. Puerto Ricans are citizens, and many Mexican Americans are. Now, the chief goal of
Wait, she just said that Puerto Ricans are citizens, okay? There are Puerto Ricans who are born in this country, so they're citizens by birth. What y'all don't know is Puerto Rico has, this is an old video, very old. This sister is transitioned now. But Puerto Rico has done what we're doing in the new Black nation. Puerto Rico has nationalized. They're their own country. They're their own, the US is a company, but Puerto Rico is a nation, and they're their own country. They're their own nation now. They have separated themselves. Remember, we kept hearing that Puerto Rico was annexed by the US? No more. But y'all didn't hear about that. It was never publicized on the news. Y'all quit thinking you watch the news and that you're informed. There are some folk I know, millionaires I know, and they know all about Stokely Carmichael and everything that was ever said. And over, people have said to Black America that these people in this government have done nothing but lie to us. They have done nothing but lie. They have never told a truth. And if you go through my videos, you will find that I have posted many of those truths. But see, my shit is suppressed. It's suppressed. And you Black folk aren't sharing it with your friends, the people you know. The celebrities are afraid. Celebrities are afraid to even talk about this. You gangsters out there hollering about you bad as fuck, hollering about that's your hood, hollering about you a hit, beat up. One of these, I ain't gonna say no name. I went to school with a rapper, okay? And everybody loved him, but I went to school with him. And I liked him too till I found out that another guy I went to school with beat him up in the cafeteria. And he know who I'm talking about. They both know who I'm talking about, because I mentioned it to him on his page. So you know who I'm talking about if you ever see this. Shout out to Young Star. I am really glad to have met you. Brother, I want to get you hooked up with my girl Robin Allen, Lady of Rage. She's now promoting music. And she could hook you up. I'm gonna send you this video so you can hear it and see it. And check in with me. I'm gonna do a Pisces tarot. Okay. So check into you probably see that on my gram before you see this video, but I'm definitely gonna send you this. Shout out to you, brother. You got talent. You just, I don't know what the word is. My nephew, he did it like it's supposed to be done. Now, ain't nobody perfect. Trey ain't perfect, but he did it like it's supposed to be. He put the work in. He traveled all over. And he brought UGK to us. He brought a whole bunch of folks into the SUC. And you are part of the SUC, so come on with it. Bro, you talented. And cute, y'all. Young Star is cute. If y'all know who Young Star is, check him out. He got that joint, and I can't play it because it doesn't belong. They own the rights to our people's music, and so they don't really make any money off of it. So Young Star was like, if I'm not mistaken, the way he felt about it was like, man, fuck that. I'm going, do something where I can really make money, because this music industry is full of birds, full of shit. But now people are owning their own music, Young Star. You can stream your shit, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be hot. Because you SUC, my brother. Young guy.
Is to make a profit by any means necessary. So these 4 tiers that Reverend Flake talked about in public schools are going to just nearly replicate themselves in private schools. The schools that cost $20,000. So if the state gives you a $7,000 voucher, you got to come up with $13,000 to get in that high tier school. Then
Keep in mind, this is an old video. This is during the times that they were trying to say that voucher schools were good. I kind of liked the voucher schools, but that they needed to up the money.
there are going to be schools that cost $15. Then you got to come up with $8. Then there are going to be schools that cost $12. Then you got to come up with $5. Then there are going to be schools that cost $7 and less. Guess who's going to be in those schools? No, ladies and gentlemen, we made a big mistake in desegregation. I tried hard to keep it from happening, but it couldn't happen. Oh, people get caricatures of me. Some of you are old enough to remember. I had my big bandana around my head. Here comes Aunt Barbara. I know you don't, some of you are too young. You don't remember that. But what I kept trying to tell people is we can't buy into a desegregation policy that says that all Black is all bad. We can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it. And we cannot buy into a voucher system that says that you get $7,000 and you buy what you can. Can't buy it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. We can't do it. We got to think this thing through carefully. Oh, I agree with Reverend Flake that we need to debate this issue. I'm not here to be an apologist for public schools, but I do want to tell you that public schools can be better. They can be better. Now, generally, as African Americans, we're very confused about the economic system of capitalism. We don't talk too much about how you make money and less about how you keep it. But that doesn't mean that we can't learn. It doesn't mean that we can't learn. And it doesn't mean that we can't teach our children. The main areas of concern in private and public education for African Americans are accountability. That is, how do we know that every American knows what he or she should know? How do we know that every school is reaching that goal? We call that accreditation. How do we know that school employees are reaching this goal? That is certification experience. You got a lot of private schools and parochial schools in Chicago that have people who are not even certified to teach. Governance. Who should rule and how? Who should determine what is taught to whom and how? Curriculum. What should every American know? How should every American be taught? And finance. How should schools be financed and who pays? Those are the questions. Last, how are teachers recruited and principals and people who work in public schools? Ron Edmonds said in the 1970s, we know everything we need to know to teach all of the children of all of the people, especially if their education is important to us. I stand here before you to tell you there are mountains of data, ladies and gentlemen, mountains of data of public schools where people like you and me are in them teaching our children and where our children are passing these tests, as my grandmother used to say. Let me tell you about some of them that I recently worked with. Last year, Kelman Corporate Community School. This was a cool school that the corporations took over. They took it over. It was a private school funded by Joseph Kelman Corporation, and they couldn't teach the kids to learn, so they gave it back to the public school system. Hello? Last year, Kelman Corporate Community School reached the 50th percentile in mathematics, increasing from 40th percentile in 1995 and the 51st percentile in reading on ITBS from the 25th percentile in 1995. It was the first school that we worked with at DePaul in the school achievement structure to do so. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring these all Black, all Hispanic schools up from the 9th and 10th percentile to the 50th percentile. Just make them normal schools because we believe the children in them are normal children. Spencer Elementary School, this is a big school, continues improving 5 years in a row from 9.7%. In 1992.
I want to stop for a second. The same thing happened here in Houston, Texas. An all-Black school put a lot of effort into teaching the students in that all-Black school. So much so they did so well that they received monies to continue, and they named it Carnegie Vanguard. Now, Carnegie was a white man, but it was all Black students. And all those students got scores because the teachers were really good. All Black teachers, all Black school. I believe it was Jesse H. Jones High School here in Houston, Texas. And they turned Carnegie Vanguard into one of the foremost education, scholarly high schools in the country. And then they gave them some more money and put them in an area called Midtown. At the time, they had the 10-year plan to gentrify Midtown. Originally, Midtown is called Fourth Ward. It's also a freedman's town, 200 years old. But they buried that. They stopped talking about it. Just like they stopped talking about the Sugarland 95 and the sugar plantation plant, where they buried the 95 bodies. One of them was a 9-year-old boy. I don't know how many people knew that because they didn't talk about it for long. But we are not ignorant. I've talked to so many people, Black folk, who claim that our schools are mismanaging money, not teaching the children, the lies that are being told. U of H is currently trying to take Texas Southern University, an all-Black college. Prairie View is already gone. That is the college that Sandra Bland was going to teach at when she was murdered. But Prairie View is gone. Texas A&M has now taken over Prairie View. So they determine what your children are taught, okay? Whether they're taught critical race theory or not. Yeah, critical race theory. I'm sorry. Every time I think of the word, it just makes me feel just as dumb as fuck. Critical race theory. What kind of word is critical? A theory? I guess it's the same theory that Black folk was here before white folks. I guess that's the same theory. That's just the facts. Science has proved it over and over again. Oh, and they lied about how long civilization, intelligent civilization has been here. 90,000-year-old highly advanced civilizations in places like India, the Americas. Man, these people have just lied and lied and lied and lied and lied, and they still lie. Stokely Carmichael told you, Kwame Ture, he told you they lie. All they do is lie. Huey Newton told you, all they do is lie. There's a popular meme going around right now from Farrakhan that says, stop lying, stop lying, stop lying. Because all they do is lie. The truth ain't in them. The truth ain't in them. I dare you to find me a truth. Find me a truth that has been given to us by this government. Find me, to Black people. I ain't talking about to European Anglo-Saxons. I'm not talking about you. Many of you got the truth. And a lot of you did not. Most of you did not. If you joined the Masons or you had any other secrets of society and you were Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, even if you were a Protestant, okay, Islam, okay, you know, it's the esoteric sciences and you're not supposed to give it to the commoners. But the where you fucked up at is that those folks you want to call the commoners, they're the real royalty. We fucked up by giving it to you. You're really the commoners. You have to be, because look at the state of this world. Look at the mess y'all have us in. Now, y'all might get mad about what I'm saying, but it's the truth. The proof is in the pudding. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video because it's gotten long and we could pick up with the next one. I'm gonna go ahead and do 3. I'm gonna do her introduction next, and then we can finish this video because it's like 37 minutes. And you know, y'all got a long attention span. So go do what you do. It's more to come. Stay tuned. Let's binge watch. How about that? Peace.